When I was growing up, my life was chaos. I had a large family and my parents wanted to remodel our house, and it was a project that went on for years. Even though I was just a kid, I was expected to work on the house and to know how to do everything that was needed. Always felt stressed out because of the construction and because of what was happening at home, and I never felt safe being there. The project eventually started wearing down our family, and I could see that it was taking a toll on my parents. They eventually started fighting, and it got to the point where they couldn't take it anymore and they got divorced. I felt like my family was broken and divided, but there was nothing I could do about it. Every day I had this thought in my head that there was something wrong with me or that I had done something wrong, but I didn't know what that was. I couldn't deal with my anxiety and depression on my own, and I didn't feel like I had a close enough relationship with anyone in my family to be able to talk with them about what I was feeling. With no one to talk to, I wanted a way out. When I was 17, I tried to kill myself for the first time. I was overwhelmed with the shame of what I had almost done, which made my depression even worse. No matter what I did, I still felt empty and alone. Throughout all that time, those couple of years, I attempted suicide 3 more times. I didn't want to keep going. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I thought having a hobby of some sort would help. I loved making things with my hands, and so I went into a craft store. I didn't know what I was looking for or even had a clue of what hobby I was wanting to do, but I found myself standing in the crochet aisle. It was a little weird being there as a 19-year-old college guy, but it looked interesting and I thought I'd give it a try. When I was crocheting, I wasn't trying to make anything. I was just doing the simplest stitch, just keeping my mind busy. I was able to distract myself from myself and forgot about my anxiety and depression. For a short time, I felt free. I'd crochet for hours, not because I enjoyed it, but because I felt like I had to. It was just a band-aid covering up the hurt. I knew I still needed a permanent fix. Around that time, I met a few Christian guys who invited me to a church service. I didn't think I wanted anything to do with God, but at the end of the service, the speaker told a story about someone with depression whose life was changed by Jesus. I connected to the story so much I longed for that story to be my story, and I felt compelled to stand up and go down to accept Christ. And in that moment, I knew I had found something real and someone that could overshadow the anxiety and depression in my life and could take away the pain I was feeling. In that moment, I was completely free. I had a long ways to go, but my life was finally headed in the right direction. A few years later, I was baptized and started actually living my life for Christ. I was finally able to start forgiving people, especially myself, for the way I had lived. My sister got me connected with the 20-somethings group here at Berean, which was huge for me. I was able to find a healthy rhythm of meeting every week and meeting with people that I could be real with. Even though it's hard for me to be vulnerable, I've begun to develop real relationships and can get help learning to understand my depression. And even though it's still there, With God's help, it no longer controls my life. Real change is possible when you let God work in your life. Eventually I started to enjoy crocheting, and with the help from Berean, I started a class to teach other people how to crochet. We make clothing items for the homeless here in Lincoln. It's incredible to think that I began crocheting to keep myself from killing myself. And now it's something that God allows me to use to impact His kingdom. It's what He does. He turns our brokenness into something beautiful. The chaos, depression, suicide attempts, and everything I was dealing with growing up is nothing compared to the hope that Jesus offers. In Christ, I'm able to find peace, because in Christ, I am complete.